Good afternoon, everyone. And little rain here in South Florida. Ron Nicoletti along with Samantha Perry. Of course, Brian will be joining us throughout the afternoon. And interesting day here today in South Florida. Got lots of rain. We got mandatory payouts in everything. The Rainbow Six, the Late Pick 5, and also the Super High 5. There you see. That'll all be going today. And, we've noticed over the last few days that when we get some rain, the Topita is really fast.
It is, and it will be completely different than it was yesterday because yesterday we saw a very tiring Topita. It was, if you were in the front two horses, you were the ones winning the race today. All odds are off. We'll check out these earlier races and see how it goes for the mandatory.
Yeah, when that happens, you have to see,
wait
all
a
couple of races, then you say, wait, that's pretty pronounced.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. So let's get right into the card today. First race is going to be a 5.5 furlong Topita race. These are maiden claimers, and we have Brian has an early pick 5 ticket that we're going to take a look at right now, and $36 for him. We'll talk about the first in a moment. He's got a single in race number 2 with the 6 horse. She's Spiteful, a logical contender in there. Lots of coverage in race number 3. I don't know what his top pick is, but I'm glad he went deep in there because I have one of his horses that he has. Fourth race, another wide open affair. I have the number 5 Blast Radius. I lost my long shot in that race, Jonah's Dream. And he's got some nice coverage in race number 5. So $36 for Brian this afternoon. And we'll go right into this race, Samantha. And how did you see this first race play out?
Well, it's a race that I think is a race where a lot of these horses just don't want to win. And
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, but the 9 on top for me because I feel like this is an Antonio Sano race. He's one that doesn't really crank him up first, second time, third time out. They take a few times to get going, and now she's going to make her 7th start. This is a good post position too.
Yeah, she was given some time to regroup. She hit the board. She was running well, and I like the fact she's fresh, you mentioned. And who's jumping aboard? Leading rider Edgar Zayas. Yeah. I did go with the number 6 in his Spirit of Victory, who's stretching out to 5.5 furlongs this afternoon after getting carried wide, finishing second against Similar. That was going 5 furlongs. Miguel Vasquez rides for Steve Kluseris. If it holds up the way it's been, this horse is going to have to run maybe against a bias today. So I can understand we got our exacta here, flip-flop. But we do have a stat that we wanted to show you on, I believe, the number 5 horse in here that we both have a little further on, and it's Joe Orsino. And there it is. You'll see 3-year-olds, first-time starter, Topita Sprints, 2 for 16. 13%, $1.60 is return investment. So not a big sampling, but okay.
Yeah, just okay. Another barn that, maybe wait a start or two.
Yeah. No. And, as you can hear behind us, the rain is coming down pretty good. But I think it's going to be a good day of racing anyway. In Florida, it could be sunny in another couple of minutes. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. That's the beauty of the Topita.
Yes.
We're back on the turf on July 5th. And today, as Samantha reminded me, is June 30th.
Yes. Well, you got me confused. This guy's trying to say it's January.
I tried all day yesterday. I was calling it January, but that's what I sort of do. Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. 5.5 furlongs on the Topita Claimers. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races. Scratch the 7. Our Fortune Cookie. And Samantha has her early pick 4 ticket that we're going to look at.
Yeah, I didn't have a single here. All day today, I had trouble trying to find a horse to get leverage on. So not the strongest opinions in this early group, just 2 or 3 horses the whole day for me. The race 3, I do have the 9 on top. I hope this outside path is good today. Race 4, I do have the 4 on top, Anointed, and that starts that mandatory Rainbow 6 payout today. And in race number 5, I'm bigger than I look on top, the 3.
You are not.
The camera doesn't add 10 pounds?
Race 2 here. I went with Viesta on top, who's stepping up to face winners. I think it's a logical spot for a recent maiden to step up because I'm not frightened of anybody in the race, so I put the 3 on top.
Well, Bobby DeBona has been going very well, rattling off multiple winners a week here. And this horse, she ran really well last time.
And you went with the number 6 on top, and a logical one.
Yeah, I think so too, because she's first off the claim for Victor Barboza, and she's one that's been knocking on the door more underneath finishes than on top 8 second place finishes. That's not great, but this is a good post, and you get Edwin Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's just 45% first off the claim.
Yeah,
so,
just a small 45%.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon because we've got a lot to talk about when that Rainbow Six kicks in. And the third race, again, 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are maiden claimers. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds end up with a full field of 9, no scratches. Let's go with your Starship Dynasty first.
Jose Pinchin sends this horse out, a quiet barn as of late, but coming out of that Vallesta race, we'll see how she runs in the race prior to, but I think this filly looks pretty good in here. She's going to have to take another step forward. She's gradually doing that. Today might be the day for her.
Well, my best bet is in this race, and it's the number 8 horse. It's Iron Shield, who tussled with better on the Tapeta, I believe, in the past, going back to the all-weather. She returned from the layoff, and she set the pace. She weakened. She was the odds-on choice that day going a mile on the main track. Yeah. It's Safi, 25% with the turn-back angle. Edgar Zayas overseeing both that, surface switch and turn back. So that's my best bet of the afternoon.
I think it's a good best bet. I obviously missed it, but you make a good point.
No, and you made a good point with the 9 too. So there's so many different ways, and that's the beauty of these races this afternoon. So many different ways you can go. The race number 4 this afternoon is where the Rainbow Six is going to start, and as we mentioned at the top, and we will mention throughout the afternoon, mandatory payouts, and all of us on this put tickets together. We'll start with Samantha's first. I would think would be the way to go here. See what your ticket looks like.
Do you want to take a little break first?
All right. Yeah, I'm so excited about the Rainbow Six.
He's ready for it. We'll be right back.
We'll take a little break.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Race number 4 this afternoon, a 1-mile maiden claimer, and this is where the Rainbow Six. Samantha bopped me on the head and said, "Slow down. I know you want to get to the Rainbow Six." We do have 3 tickets. That's why I was rushing along that we want to show you. Now, after we all took a deep breath, let's look at Samantha's ticket first.
Yep, and it's a tough sequence today. $76. I whittled it down just a little bit. I was able to have some stronger opinions and the more I thought about it. Race 5, I do have the 3 on top. Race 6 and 7, these are problem races for me. I do have Globes on top in race 6. Race number 7, I have the 11, and that is my long shot on top, Practical Veil. Race 8, this is my best bet, rolling on for Rohan Crichton, and in the finale, this is a tough one as well. Race the number 10 I have on top, and that is Karaoke, 7680.
Karaoke, yeah, we just talked about that horse the other day.
Yeah.
So we'll show you my ticket real quickly right now, and I had to change a little bit in the top part. My lost my long shot, and it was the number 7, so I made it 145. We'll talk about this race, of course. For me, in race number 5, just too deep in here. The 2 horses I thought ran well. I'm bigger than I look. Lou. And then in race number 6, my top pick is the 7, Shankar. I love reclaims, especially by Safi. 7th race, the number 10 is my top pick, Sand Wedge. We're going to show a video of that horse. Race number 8, my top pick is the 6, Rum Saint Espire. And in the last, as you mentioned, I didn't use your Karaoke. I got the 4, 11, and 9 in there. The top pick being that 4, La Solis, which probably the parade is underwater by now.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah.
Panther Parade. Let's take a look at Brian's real quick right now.
Oh, 144 here. The single for him is Globes, and I like this single today because he is a competitive horse. 7, 8, and 9, these are tricky races. He does have your top pick in there. That is Shankar. He's using a couple others as well. Race number 8, it's a tricky one. He has Smoking Cloud in the mix. He's got Rolling On, which is my best bet in the finale. He's got your 4-horse there. That is Las Olas. We'll get to that. I'm kind of against this horse today. And Belly of Jelly, second off the claim for Mark Cassey at 144.
Sorry, we're going to show a video of that, of those horses, which will be shown a lot. We're going to get right to it here. Who did you pick on top in race number 4?
I picked the 4 on top, Anointed. Now, this colt has only been on the dirt one time, and it was back with Todd Pletcher, his very first start, and it was a good race. Valentine Candy for Steve Asmussen was actually pretty impressive that day. Anointed has been just knocking at the door, but now we're going to get to the main track. The wet track, we'll see what the conditions are by 2:22 in the afternoon. We'll get that for you, but I feel like he should handle it. These Justifies, they run on anything.
Trying to see what's going on behind these bottles. A little tough here. You know what? I picked Blast Radius, and best way to talk about it is to show the video we have, and then we have a stat also. But let's show that video of Blast Radius and see how this horse runs there. See the number 6 horse is Blast Radius.
Yeah, and Blast Radius dueled the whole way around with 30-pound Test. This was not an easy race for him at all because these two just went at it, and Blast Radius never got a breather. What a strong effort where he just got tired. I mean, of course you are. Look at the odds on Blast Radius, and he just couldn't see it through, and that was only his second start.
Yeah, he ran very well. He was fighting through that whole thing. And then we got that stat, as we mentioned, on Saffie Joseph Jr., which we see here. Second off claim, maiden claimers at Gulfstream. 2 for 22. Wow, he's only 9%.
Yeah,
you would not think that.
I know. I was shocked when I saw this. And the more I thought about it, I thought, oh, that actually, it kind of makes sense. Usually he fires right away right off the claim. So I was a little disappointed in that effort.
I'm glad we went 1-4-5 in that race. I went a little deeper in there, So let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. It's going to be 6 furlongs, and I would venture to say that it's going to be a sealed sloppy track.
Right.
This afternoon we don't have that yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we get it. We don't have it. I'm sure people out there do. 5 furlongs this one, and it is for, a good group of 2-year-olds in here. We do have a scratch in the number 5, Oleg, and I guess the best one, we get a couple of videos. First, we'll show Lou.
First we'll show Ticket, then we'll do Lou, in case you're out of the Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
But the late pick 5 is mandatory as well today.
That's
that
right.
pool pays out. So $24, just a little skinnier ticket than my pick 6. I feel like I've got my key contenders in here, though. It is just a small run back of my Rainbow Six minus a couple. So $24 to play.
Yeah, and I think the 3 and the 6, that was in my Rainbow Six too here. Now we will show the video of Lou, then we'll show the one when I'm bigger than I look. So if you could key up Lou.
Lou ran huge here. This was just his second start. Now the winner just was too good this day. Took the rail skimming ride, and Lou was running on late. Lou, I think, needs a little more ground.
Yeah, and he looked like he was a little green in the stretch
definitely.
too. He was like sort of like, hey, what's this game all about? He did get on his right lead there, so it was good at I thought he ran great. That's why I put him on top. But the other horse in here that ran exceptionally well, I mean, it has a lot of upside, is that number 3, I'm Bigger Than I Look, along with To The Max and Strength Through Guidance. We're going to show you the video of those.
Well, and this is a good thing to watch because this was on a sloppy track this day, wait, no, it wasn't. Pardon me, I misspoke. That was a different race that we're going to see a little bit later, the sandwich race. But anyway, I'm Bigger Than I Look. They bet this horse down to 4-5, and I was kind of shocked at this. Dueled the whole way, had an inside trip that wasn't where you want to be as a first-time starter, and look at the upset here. How much do you believe in this race?
Yeah, I don't believe in that race, but I just thought that horse, another one that was pinned in the inside, didn't seem to like it there.
Right.
That's why they tipped him out. And, in this spot, they both got upside, after those 2 races in there. And then, the number 9 horse, so I have a little further down. Samantha has in 3rd, Strength and Guidance. This one, we have a stat that we want to show you on Mr. Antonio Sano. So we'll quickly show you that. And let's see, 2-year-old, second-time starters past 2 years, 10%.
Not the best.
No.
And I know I heard Brian say this week, this is a horse you should pay attention to, but and Antonio Sano is very good second, third time out, but still not great second time out. I'm willing. I dropped this horse on my Rainbow Six ticket.
Yeah, and he was also in that race that we watched. You
Yes,
know, with
much further
Bigger
behind.
much further behind in that particular race. So that is race number 5. We're going to flip the page, go to race number 6. We're going to stretch it out on the Tapeta to a mile and 70 yards. And this one's a pretty good. It's a starter optional camber for 3-year-olds and upward. We have a scratch in here of the number 3, El Rojo Vino. And of course, when we're done, Pete will give you all the scratches and updates you need about whatever is going on in here. Brian's late pick 4 ticket starts right here.
It does, and he's starting it off with a single because I believe Globes is his best bet today here, and just getting bigger as it goes down further now. Race number 7, just the 7 and 10 for him, Divine Chase and Sand Wedge. That's the replay we'll show with the sloppy track last out. Race 8, 3 deep. He does have the 5 rolling on. That's my best bet. And in the finale, Ron, like I mentioned, he's got your Las Olas. That's a tricky race, and that could blow things up. $15.
$15, and you got to get through this race here. And,
Yeah.
Globes, talk about like Globes is certainly the one to beat, I believe, on the drop down.
Yeah, since they stretched this horse out to 2 turns, he's just done so good. He's just really kind of found a new dimension here and tries every single time. He's been exiting those races I feel like are a little bit stronger. Bryce Canyon got on a tear. Now yesterday he ran second, but it was still a good one in the finale, and Globes just fits here.
I did go with the 7, Shankar on top, and Shankar is a reclaim by both Safi Joseph Jr. and the owner in here, so 1020 Racing. And we're going to show you a video of this horse. Shankar now stepping up this afternoon, but, you got to respect the connections.
Yeah, this is with Safi, too, so this was 2 starts back.
Right.
He knows how to get this horse in the right direction. Now, Shankar, in his last race, which it was kind of the gangs all here yesterday, he was trapped in on the rail and just ran a meddling third. Now, you see down the stretch, he's got some interesting antics. He kind of brought himself to the inside rail, but this was a big effort, and I prefer this horse over Caspian Sea, the other entry.
Yeah, the Caspian Sea, we both have it a little further down on our ticket.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's Safi. It's what we call, and everybody does, the other Safi. So
Yes.
we'll see how that horse runs.
That'll get you.
That'll get you. He's sort of like the now horse. You know what I
Yes.
mean? He comes off back-to-back wins, albeit on the turf. And I like to use that term. And this horse is in good form.
Yes.
And if it could put 3 together, it's not going to be very shocking. So we'll see how it is for race number 6. With that said, little damn pages here, but we got them turned well. Your computer's doing fine. 7th race is going to be 6 furlongs. Boy, it is a big field, and it's got 11 horses, no scratches in here. We do have a jockey change on the 7. Make that rider Joseph Treos. That is on number 7 in here. And what we got going on here, let's talk about you want to show the video or you want to talk about your horse first, your long shot?
Well, let's show the video
Okay.
first because then we can discuss why I went somewhere else.
Okay.
But this is great to see for today, Ron, because Sandwedge looked like she loved the mud this day.
Yeah, just cruising through it. So that's very important. We're certainly going to be dealing with early on this afternoon.
Yeah, the track dries out very quick here. It just depends on how much we get. And, of course, closer to 4 p.m. we'll see. But Sandwedge ran well. Now, on the contrary to that, we have It's Only Words, who's in this race, who was the 11 horse here, who's also the 4 here. I kind of felt like she struggled in the mud. So pay attention to that today because I think she struggled a bit.
And it's always good to look down and you can see how horses previously ran on those tracks when you're handicapping. It's what we do. It's what everybody does. Some of them, as you know, like it. Some of them just don't. Get over the ground that well. And you saw that Shankar would be able to do that. Globes for all the reason. And, of course, just all the way down to that race. Then you go to this one. What about Jurassic Chick, who's dropping to the 12.5 level? And if they made that middle move in its last race and faded, I think it's going to be a useful $25,000 debut on the Tapeta. I think it's going to help that horse this afternoon.
Yeah, I think so too. And I like the extra distance as well. I think that will help, the 6 furlongs.
Now we'll go to your long shot, Practical Val.
Okay, so I don't have any real clever additives to this. She's just a new face in a field where we've seen all of these horses' cards before. She worked last year at the OBS June sale, which is honestly, it's kind of a sale for are cast out. So that's how it typically is, just the horses that don't sell earlier in March and April or are just not ready or late developers. She worked 10 flat, and she was quick on the Tapeta, and she'll try the dirt today. She's got some local works, which are good. We'll see how she is here. Practical Joke, 15% first time out.
And as you saw our tickets and Brian's ticket, when you get to these races, the 7th and 8th, we were all had a lot of picks because it's very tough. Well, we'll go to race number 8 now, and this one is going to be 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. And I started it with the number 6 horse in here, Rum Saint Espire, who is faces state-bred optional claimers again. You look at his last race, set the pace, and finished third against state-bred allowance runners going this distance at State Fork. I think he spots this gelding perfectly today. I think this is a really good spot for him, John.
Yeah.
There are other ways to go. You did go with the horse I have in second, the number 5. I think this was your best bet.
Yeah, it
Rolling
is.
on.
Well, this is a tricky race, and this is a race where you could take, you could throw the all ball at it,
right.
you know. And I needed to take a stand somewhere, so I landed here. A 4-year-old, he is taking on some 3-year-olds. Your top pick is a aforementioned 3-year-old, but I like the fact that he's fresh coming into this race. You have a Misael aboard. What are you going to do? Hopefully try to take it gate to wire.
Well, the horse you have in second, Frosted Faith, we have a video we want to show you of that horse, so maybe you can make a decision after watching this.
This was a huge race by Frosted Faith. This was a couple starts with Jenna Antonucci, finally connected, and now Liz Dobles took this 6-year-old gelding, but he just kicked on like a good thing. And this was a 12-5 level run that was a much stronger field than it looked like on paper.
Yeah, some of these 12.5s come up really tough.
They do.
So ran very well in there. And, you know, way to go. Now, you see the number 7 horse I just want to touch on for a moment, Embrace the Dream. He does his best running in the latter stages of the race. He could sit in the garden spot, but what we've seen over the last couple of days, can you come from off the pace? That's what we'll have to find out as the day progresses. We're talking about even on the main track or the Tapeta and see how everything plays out. So that anything else in race number 8?
No, I'm hoping I can get out of this race, but we'll see. Like you said, pay attention to those earlier Tapeta races to see how it's playing.
Race number 9, and this one again, mile and the 16th on the Tapeta, and we do have one jockey change on the one Shipwreck, easy for me to say. This one is going to be Ray Martinez. He's not going to ride with the apprentice allowance in that spot. And, you know, you mentioned this throughout. You got the 10. I don't have the 10 anywhere, karaoke. You know, Fast Chad looked like he came from Hallandale Beach Boulevard in that race to come and let's show that particular race.
Yeah, this is a race where there's a couple exiting. You've got Belly of
Your
Jelly,
Jelly,
as well. This was crazy because they picked it up this second eighth of a mile, this second quarter, 46-4,
Wow.
And it fell apart late.
Right.
Now, how much do you believe in this race? Because we've got Candy Street in here as well. Now, Candy Street was going the backwards. Belly of Jelly was running on nicely, and so was Fast Chad. There you go, see him late on the scene. From this, I don't want Candy Street. I would rather have Fast Chad or Belly of Jelly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I have Fast Chad on my ticket, but as I mentioned, let's talk about your 10 in here, karaoke, because nice price of 10-1 with Miguel Vasquez for Joe Orsino, who's just been going great both here and in New Jersey.
Yes, he has. He's taking on older horses right now for the first time, which that kind of worries me. But I like the fact that Miguel Vasquez stays aboard. The Tapeta race 2 starts back was a good one. The Honeyman, who won the race, came back to win yesterday. That's a good sign here. We'll see. It's a spread race for me.
Yeah, I went with Las Solas, has its claiming tag carved in half after finishing just an okay 4th against those 16-2 lifetime claimers. And my hope is that he shows more speed against this level of competition. And as you said, it's so wide open. I mean, Las Solas is on. I think he could run well if he gets the perfect setup. You mentioned Belly of Jelly. You mentioned Fast Chad. That's the other couple I have on my ticket, as you do. You have the number 11 also, Belly of Jelly. So that's basically the 9 races that you have to deal with this afternoon. And once again, we'll say mandatory payouts in everything. Not only the Rainbow Six. I mean, that's the star of the mandatory payouts. But you got the late pick 5, and you got that super high 5 in the last race. So make sure you watch that pool, because that's a good one to hit on closing day of this fiscal year.
Yes,
And
not
wasn't
of the
gonna-
year.
Of the year. I wasn't going to say Happy New
Okay.
Year, even though they had a bet that I would say Happy New Year or Happy Valentine's Day somewhere along there.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
Well, that's how we see it, but we're not done. We got the lightning round,
Yeah.
so we've been mentioning it right here. We'll show you the mandatory stuff that we were just talking about. If you didn't hear us, you can see that maybe the slate will pop up, make it easier.
Yeah, and let's look back at yesterday because Bluefield was very
Yeah.
impressive in the musical romance run.
Yeah, definitely. There was a musical romance and runs well.
Yeah.
Runs fantastic. I
Yep.
thought it was a good performance.
It was you had Cousin Christy, huh?
Yeah, that was my long shot.
The horse ran really huge.
Yeah, I thought right here. I still thought we had a shot. I thought the horse was going to back up. You're right there, the 7 we're talking about. Bluefield was too good, but I did get second.
Yep,
So,
and I had read in the DRF yesterday that this was a prep for her for the Princess Rooney. So hopefully we'll see her later on, maybe the Breeders' Cup later.
yeah, she ran exceptionally well there. Safi Joseph Jr. of course.
Yep.
So what else we got on the best bet?
Mandatory.
Oh, the mandatory.
Yeah, like you mentioned today, everything must go with the Rainbow 6, late pick 5, the Super High 5 that is in the finale today. It's going to be huge pools, nice juicy payouts. Make sure to get involved. We've got all of our tickets posted, all of the videos. We've done the heavy lifting. Now it's time to enjoy it and make some money.
And win.
Yeah, that's the key thing.
Let's take a look at your best bet.
It's rolling on for me. So there you go. It's in my Rainbow 6.
And look at mine here, and it is in race number 3. It's the 8 Iron Shield, 9-5 on the line. I lost my long shot this afternoon.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, race 4. I thought that horse would run well. What do you have?
I've got the 11, which is Practical Veil in race 7.
12-1, and you have a good angle with that because, a first-time starter against a shaky bunch, put it that way,
yes,
right? So,
definitely.
well, we zipped through this thing. I thought we were going to run out of time, but it looks like we ended up with some time there. We wanted to get every video in that we possibly could. So now we can really take a deep breath. Samantha, we can dry off a little bit and turn it over to Pete Aiello for the scratches, changes, and, of course, Brian will be joining us throughout the afternoon. Good luck, everybody.